Hey guys, welcome to this live session by Intellipaat. So in this session, we'll be doing a tutorial on Azure Devops. So first we'll learn the basics of Azure Devops. Then I'll show how to start off with it. That is how to get an account. After that, how to start a project in Azure DevOps. And also I'll show you around all the tools available in Azure DevOps so that you can create a CI/CD pipeline using it. So let's get started. So first let us look at the agenda. So as I told you, first we'll look at what exactly is Azure DevOps. After looking at that, we'll be looking into the Azure DevOps services. After looking at all the services, we'll do a quick hands-on. As I told you, we'll be looking into how to create an organization, then about projects, then we'll be looking into all the services, how you can use them and create a CI/CD pipeline. And finally, I'll show you how to get started as well as I have a surprise for you at the end. Okay, so now let's get started with introduction to Azure DevOps. So first, Azure DevOps is a tool provided by Microsoft Azure, which can be used to implement a DevOps lifecycle in a business. So first, I think you should first understand what is Azure and then what is DevOps before starting off with Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps is not a methodology. So as you all know, DevOps is basically a methodology which can be used to implement continuous development or continuous deployment. So you can do a CI/CD using DevOps. So Azure is a cloud platform. Now Azure has come up with a DevOps tool which has multiple services within it that is called Azure DevOps. So that can be used to create a complete DevOps lifecycle. Previously it was called as VSTS or Visual Studio Team Services, and now it has been upgraded and rebranded to Azure DevOps. So you can access it in two ways. You can open your Azure account and then search for Azure DevOps and then open it. Or you can just search you can just type in dev.azure.com in your browser and it will take you over there. And then this is how a sample Azure DevOps project will look like. So you'll have the project title. So you'll have an about of the project. So you can provide a simple description, and in the languages you can basically choose what are the languages you are using, or it will automatically detect and show it for you. And in the right you have project stats, that is so one work item. So basically work item in the sense it may be a bug or it may be an issue or something like that. So that, and to the left you see all the services that we'll see later, and this is how a basic dashboard will look like. Moving ahead, so first, what are the benefits of DevOps on Azure? So it is easy automation. You don't need to waste a lot of time in manually configuring a pipeline. So if you're using external tools like, let's say, GitHub, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes to set up a CI/CD pipeline, all these services are individual. First you'll have to integrate them and you'll have to find a plan to integrate your lifecycle. But in Azure DevOps, it's already integrated. You'll just have to connect them. That's it. So easy automation, easy orchestration. That is, you can create multiple, you can also use containers and you can easily orchestrate them using Azure DevOps as well. Then effective monitoring. It has a very well created dashboard with multiple widgets. Not only few widgets, you can also create your own widgets and upload it to the Microsoft Marketplace. So there are so many different widgets. You'll have to choose one and download it and use it for yourself. That also we'll see later. And finally, rapid deployment. So whenever a change occurs in the code and you merge the pull request, and that makes it run a build of that code. Once the build is successful, then that code will be released into a staging environment, and then that code will be released into a production environment. Okay, so we've seen the benefits. Now let's look at the Azure DevOps services. What are the services Azure DevOps provides? So first, Azure boards, and then Azure repos, Azure pipelines, Azure test plans, and finally Azure artifacts. So let's look at these services individually. So these are the 5 services which Azure DevOps provides. There is also one more, which is the dashboard, but it's not considered as a service because these are the 5 tools which is used to create a CI/CD pipeline. The dashboard is for monitoring. That is the final step. So first, let's start off with Azure boards. So this particular tool is for tracking work. It is like a Kanban board or a sprint board or a backlog board. Basically, you can create work items and issue it to a particular person. Let's say you have 10 developers in your team and you want to issue a particular task to 3 developers. So you can create the task in Azure boards, then assign it to them. So while assigning it to them, that task can also be mailed to them. So when you assign it to them, it will be mailed to them that this task has been assigned to you. And you can also mention the priority of the task. You can also mention the sprint period for the task. The sprint period is basically, in companies, they might have 10 days or 15 days sprint periods. That is, within 10 days, the issued tasks within that sprint should be completed. So that's what happens there. So the basic concepts in Azure boards, we looked at what exactly is Azure board. It is a tracking tool. It's a work tracking tool basically. So first, the main concept here is work items. So you use work items to track anything and everything in Azure boards. For example, if there's a bug in the website, you can create a bug issue in Azure boards and then issue it to someone who can correct it. And then comes the board itself. So in the board, you will see all the issues, all the bugs, whatever is mentioned. So implement Kanban practices by creating and visualizing a workflow for the team. Also, you can integrate Azure boards with GitHub. So whenever a particular task is completed and you have merged the pull request and hit enter, when it's successful, the work which is in doing or on process will automatically be moved to completed. So you can you don't need to even move the task. When the task is successful, it will automatically move it. And then backlogs, you can plan and prioritize the work for a team within one or multiple projects. So you can have a centralized position in Azure boards, so that you can plan and prioritize the work across multiple projects. So you can do that using backlogs. And then sprints, plan of work for a team which has to be completed in a specific period of time. So you have a dev team. So you say that every single 10 days you'll have to complete 10 tasks as a team. So every sprint you issue 10 tasks, and that 10 tasks should be completed with the sprint, and you can easily track that using Azure boards. And finally, queries. So this is one of the important features of Azure boards, guys. So we obviously know there will be a lot of tasks coming in, bugs coming in. So let's say you just want to check the active bugs. So you can, there is a querying area. You can go over there, select the item, the work item, which is bugs, and then you can choose the position or the option. It may be like doing, done, before that issued or something like that. So first issued, then doing, then done. So you want to check whichever is in doing or active. So you can provide the work item name as bug, and then you can provide doing. So once you give that and hit enter, there will be a button to filter. So you click that, you will get that entire query of which are bugs which are active right now. So when you get that, when you know which are the bugs which are active, you can also send that complete query data as a mail, or also you can take your copy by downloading it. So you have multiple options. So we've seen Azure boards. Next we'll look into Azure repos. So before starting with Azure repos, a small fact. So Microsoft has already bought GitHub. They own GitHub. So this Azure repos is completely built on the GitHub's architecture itself. It is the same, just the name is different, and it is integrated with Azure. So GitHub is still available, you know that. So like GitHub, even Azure repos is a repository. It's a hosting software. So even Azure repos has the same infrastructure. So the commands are the same. So here you can see get a free unlimited private repository for hosting, software development, version control. Also, GitHub connectivity is available if you do not want Azure repos. So if you want to use Azure repos, you can go with it, or you just want to integrate GitHub with Azure DevOps services, you can do that if you don't want to use Azure repos. Or you can also import the repository from GitHub into Azure repos and start using Azure repos itself. So you can connect your favorite development environment to Azure repos to access repos and manage your work. So again, it is the same as GitHub, like how you connect GitHub using Git Bash or your command line, or using Visual Studio Code, or using other IDEs. You can also connect Azure repos. So Git lifecycle, this is the same, guys. This is the same as GitHub. So you will have a local workspace, which is your local system, and then you git initialize that folder. Once you do that, you might add some files, or there might be some files already, and then you stage those files. Once you have staged it, you will commit those files to the Git repository. So once you commit that, now the repository will know which are the files which should be pushed into the Azure repos repository, that is the remote repository. Then you use the git push command to push it into the repository. Now all the files are available in the repo. Now you can have a developer team which can build and share code to that Azure repo. This process, so let's say another person want to change some code, he can download this to his system, he can make the changes, and then he can push it into the Azure repo where the code is stored. So changes pushed by other developers can be pulled by you as well. So let's say you have pushed this code, and after 10 days another dev has made another change and has pushed it. So now you want the latest code, so you can pull it back. So you can do that. So this is the basic Git lifecycle. Okay, so we've seen Azure repos and boards. Next, Azure test plans. So test plans is basically you have two options. One is for automated testing, one is for manual testing. So automated testing, you'll have to pay around $52 to Azure to buy that. That is a separate package. It does not come with Azure DevOps or your Azure subscription. You'll have to buy test plans from Microsoft, or you can use manual testing. So use Azure test plans to improve the quality of your code by using planned and exploratory tests. So you can capture data, you can test across any website, across any desktop applications, get end-to-end traceability. So the thing is, if you are using exploratory tests, there is an application provided by Azure test plans itself. It is a Chrome extension. You can add it, or you can add it in your other browsers as well. Once you add it, you can use that to create you can use that to do exploratory tests. If you find a bug, or if you find an issue, you can screenshot that particular place and create an issue directly from that tool itself. So that is test plans. Next is Azure artifacts. So artifacts, in the sense, it's mostly resources and packages. So to to have any software, you obviously will have packages. Like for building your Java code, you might have Maven, and then you might have npm, which is node package manager. You have Python packages. You have so many different packages. So it is according to you and your code which are the packages which you're going to use. So how does Azure artifacts help? You can share code efficiently, because let's say you have 3 developers. So you can see this image in the left. You have 3 developers. All 3 are working in a different system. They might have different version of a package and use that to code. So if person A uses a different package version and then gives that code to person B, that person might have a different version, and the code given by person A might not work in the system of person B. So how to solve this? You can use Azure artifacts. So you can have all the artifacts, all the packages in a single location, so that every single developer in your company uses the same packages with the same versions and nothing changes, so that you can share code efficiently. Also, you can manage all kinds of packages, and you can also add these packages to pipeline. So you can directly use it from the website itself, official website of npm, by downloading it, or you can download it into Azure artifacts and then connect Azure artifacts to your pipeline. So we've looked into the 4 tools, And the most important and the highly used tool in Azure DevOps is Azure Pipelines. So Azure Pipelines is the tool which is used to create a CI/CD pipeline. First of all, Azure Cloud Hosted Pipelines for Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So Azure Pipelines provides cloud-based pipelines for all types of operating systems: Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. These are the three most popular operating systems. So build any kind of application on any platform using any language. The thing is, you can create any kind of application. It can be a .NET application, it can be a Angular application, it can be a Python application. So it can be any kind of application. It can be created on any platform. You can use any language to create it, and you can deploy it to any cloud provider, not just Azure. You can use Azure pipelines to deploy application. So it can be any kind of application. It can be created on any platform. You can use any language to create it, and you can deploy it to any cloud provider, not just Azure. You can use Azure pipelines to deploy that code into an AWS server as well. So the first thing, any language, any platform. So you don't need to worry about which code you are writing in and which platform you are creating it in. Second, deploy to any cloud. If you want to use Google Cloud for deployment or AWS for deployment, you can do that. You don't need to be in a vendor lock-in with Azure. Third, advanced workflows and features. There are so many different features in this. You can have multiple staging environments. You can have production environments. You can trigger automatic integration, and so basically it's continuous integration. You can trigger that. You can also trigger continuous deployment, and also you can not trigger it and make it manual as well. And then it is extensible. You can do various features, and you extensible in the sense you can also include third-party softwares, also third-party plugins. You can also add third-party tools with Azure pipelines. And finally, containers and Kubernetes. So you can also use Docker and Kubernetes or any other kind of services for containers in Azure pipelines. There is no restrictions for that. So now the concepts of Azure pipelines, the first one is continuous delivery, which is process by which code is built, tested, and deployed to one or more stages. This is the second part. First part is continuous integration. This is used by development teams to simplify the testing and building of code. So right now the development team has to just create the code and upload it to their repository or push it to their repository, and once it is pushed, the testing and building of code will be done automatically. If the tests are successful, then the code will be pushed into building. If the build is successful, then it will be moved into a deployment stage where continuous delivery happens. Then environment. So this is a collection of resources and on which you can launch your application. So an environment is which you choose. You can launch your application on a Linux system like Ubuntu or CentOS. You can launch it on a Windows system. You can also launch it on an Android application, that is an Android operating system. You can do it on a Mac OS. So you can choose your own environment and you can choose your own resources for launching your application. Then pipeline. So this pipeline will define the multiple stages of the CI/CD process. So your application first might have to be tested, then have to be built, then have to be staged, then have to be deployed into a server or another web application. So to do this, you will need a pipeline which is defining each and every single process. So you can use Azure pipelines for that. Finally, run and stage. So basically, run is one execution of a pipeline and stage is a logical boundary in it. So run in the sense whenever the pipeline is run one complete time, from pushing the code, then building it, testing it, and deploying it, that is one single run. And then a stage is basically a logical boundary in it. Every single, so test is a stage, run is a stage, then building is a stage, then deployment is a stage. So everything is a stage in that, and it is one logical boundary. If any one of that logical boundary fails, the entire pipeline will stop and the old code will be available. So there won't be any other problem. Okay guys, we've seen the basics of Azure DevOps. Now let me do a quick hands-on. Let me open Azure DevOps site, and then we'll just explore the site completely and understand what is available. So if you want to look into more Azure DevOps projects, we have already done an Azure DevOps tutorial and a course which you can check in our YouTube channel, and that video has a complete hands-on from scratch, from the GitHub repository, and then building the code and then deploying it to an Azure web app. You can check that. In this particular demo, I'll be showing you how to start off with Azure DevOps, because if you understand how to start off with it, you can easily pick up the pace and move ahead. So let's start off with Azure DevOps hands-on. Okay, let's start with the demo. So first let me open the browser, and before starting off with the demo, I wanted to show this. So if you want a complete training in Azure DevOps with a project, so you can check out this video in our YouTube channel, which is called Azure DevOps training and Azure DevOps tutorial. So this is the demo I'll be doing in that session. So I'll be creating a DevOps organization, and we'll be creating a project, then integrate it with GitHub, create a complete CI/CD pipeline for the Android application, and it is completely for 1 hour. I have dedicated it to do a complete project. So you can check out test plans as well. So if you want more information on Azure DevOps after this live session, you can go ahead and check out this video. So let's start off with the basics of Azure DevOps. So as I told you, first you'll have to open Azure DevOps. So I have logged into Microsoft Azure right now. So after logging into Microsoft Azure, you'll have to search for Azure DevOps. So I'm searching for Azure DevOps, and you can see here there is an option called Azure DevOps Organizations. So you will have to go ahead and click on it so that it will take you to a place where you can check out this. So to start off with Azure DevOps itself, you will have to click on this particular hyperlink. So once you click, it will take you to dev.azure.com. You can either go like this, or you can just type dev.azure.com, and it will again take you to the same location, that is sign in. So let's see what we are getting here. So you can see create new organization and Intellipaat.com, and let's see here I've typed in dev.azure.com. So here it's asking to get started with Azure DevOps directly. So these are the two ways you can start off with it. So now, as we are from here, from the Microsoft Azure console, let me click on create a new organization. So this is the first step. You'll have to create an organization. So to do so, you'll have to provide continue. You will have to choose in which region you want to host your projects. I'm fine with South India. You'll have to provide your DevOps organization a name. I'm going to provide it YouTube Live, and continue. So it will take some time. So it will create an organization, and it will take you to that particular web page. Once you arrived at that web page, then you can start off with creating projects. So you can see projects home, and right now I've created the organization, but I don't have any project. So to create a project, you'll have to provide just the name, as well as you'll have to choose the visibility. Public will be available to everyone. If somebody has the URL of your project, they can view your project. If it is private, only you can see, and only the people you have given access can see your particular project. So I'm going to make this public and provide my project name as YouTube Live Sample, coming down, and I'm clicking on create project. You can also create multiple organizations. You can see in the left side of the screen, you can also create multiple organizations. So right now we've created a project. So once you create a project, it will automatically take you inside the project. So you can see YouTube Sample Live, welcome to the project. So this is the summary page of our project. So right now there is nothing to talk about this project because there is nothing. And in the left, you can see there is an overview. First let me click on overview. So this is the overview, and right now we don't have any visualization, so there is obviously no reason for opening dashboards. So let me just open it and show it to you what exactly is that purpose. So you can see you can add widgets. So I'll not show you right now, I'll show you later. Then coming to the main 5 services, one is boards. So under boards, you can see there is work items, boards, backlogs, sprints, queries. We already took a look at all of these topics in the PPT. So first, work items. So once you create a work item, you will be able to see every single of them here. So let's create one. So clicking here. So guys, like before starting off with Azure DevOps, at least try to learn what is DevOps, because without understanding what exactly is DevOps, you will not be able to grasp what is going on here. Also, if you want to learn DevOps, again, you can check out our YouTube channel. We have a 10-hour DevOps session. You can learn from scratch and then also learn the basics about Azure so that it will be more helpful for you. So new work item, you can see here epic, issue and task. So you can choose any one of them. Let's say I'm choosing an issue in the sense like a bug. So it will take me to a page where I can enter a name and a description, and I can assign it to a user as well. So currently there is only one user, that is me. So obviously you cannot do anything. So first you'll have to enter a title. So let's say bug in the main website title, or typo. Let's put typo here, typo. So now let's search for users. So if it is if you have already invited some users, you will see them over here, and you can click on this. You can see the state over here, to do, in the sense this particular operation, sorry, this particular ticket has yet not been taken up by someone to work on it. So right now it's in to do, and under planning you can see priority. So 1 2 3 4. So 4 is the highest and 1 is the lowest priority. So you can choose the priority accordingly. You can also the thing is, it's not just 1 2 3 4. You can also edit this out so that you can change this. Then you can see effort, what should be done. Then you can see you can provide a description of what to do. Hello, please check the title and make the changes. So let's say you have made the before creating this. So let's say you have changed. You can see add a comment. Use hash. So if you use hashtag and the number of a work item. So right now the work item we are creating is number 1. So let's say hashtag, and if you put 23, if there is a work item called 23, that will be tagged over here. And then if you want to tag a user, so you can see you will have to use at the rate. So if you use at the rate, you will be given a list of users, or you can just start typing and you can basically tag them over here so that they can come and check out this particular issue. And then you can add a GitHub link or an Azure repo link in development so that they'll know where exactly the change has to be made. So right now we don't have any code added, so you can see here this is the repository available, and you can choose the build number, and so this is how it works. Sorry. And coming down related work, you can also link an existing item, like how you linked it over here. So related work, and then yeah, so that's it pretty much. So here is an history of what happened with this particular issue. Let's say you have created this issue, and then it has been up for like 10 days, and you can come and see here what has happened. And then this is the link to existing issues, and here you can add attachments as well. So this is the place for add attachments. So you can see, you can click here and choose an attachment and add it. So you can also add an attachment to this. Maybe it may be a HTML page or a file or anything you want to add. So once you've completed everything, hit save. So now the work item is created. The number for the work item is 1. So let's do an hash. There is only 1 right now. So okay, so we have created a work item. So let me go to boards. So under boards you'll have 3 columns. So you have to do. You can also change this assigned or something like that. So right now it is to do. So this is to do, this is doing, this is done. So you can also, let's say it has been assigned to you, so you just want to show that you are doing this currently, you can just move it to doing. So done. So it's under doing state. If you have completed this, you can just move it to done. So it will go to done state. So you can also change it from here to do, it will move. So you can do this. So this is how you can create issues and also check them in the Azure boards. And then you have backlog sprints. So this and all we'll see later. So right now you'll just have to understand work items and boards. Okay. Now coming to repos. So right now there is a repository in this particular account, but there is no content here. So you can see you can clone to your computer, you can push an existing repository from command line. You can import a repository. You can initialize and start a new repository directly from Azure Repos. So let's import a repository. Let me show you how to do, because most of you will be working already with GitHub. So if you want to move a repository from GitHub to Azure Repos, you will have to need this. So first, so you can see here, you will have to find the repository type. My repository type is Git, and you'll have to open your GitHub account. So let me open it, and let me just go here, copy this, sorry, not this, please don't do that mistake. So you'll have to copy this and paste. So you can see github.com, my username and my repository. So if you want, you can click here, requires authentication, or you can just click on import. This is a public repository, that's why it is showing that it is on its way. If it is a private repository, you will not be able to do this because it will ask for your password. So let's try that. So this will take us to, yeah, so now you can see I've imported it. There are some files over here. You can see you can add a new file, a folder, you can upload files, you can download this, also you can fork it like how you do in GitHub. And you can see this, I've uploaded all the files over here. So this is how you do this. You can also check the commits. Let me go to commits. So if you move that repository to Azure Repos, you can also check the commits which were made in the repository. So you can see I made the first push in October 2019, then I did some changes, then updated install dependencies, and then I merged it with my master branch. I created another branch and did. So after that there were a lot of changes. So you can see every single commit is over here as well, because it has moved the entire details of this particular repository into this. Then you can check the pushes. So you can see these are the pushes happened in this particular master. So if you want, you can check out the branches. Currently there is only one branch, master. So you can check out the branches over here. If you have multiple branches, you can check it. So you can see you can also create a new branch, and you can also select a particular issue so that you can notify that you are working on this issue by creating a new branch, and once it is completed you will raise a pull request. So I'm cancelling this. Then tags, so you can also create tags. So use tags to mark a point in history that is relevant to the repository. And then finally pull requests. So right now there is no pull request, you can create a new one. So if you are making any changes, you can create a pull request so that you can merge it with your master branch. Okay, so we've seen Azure Repos as well. I wanted to show one more thing, how to integrate Azure Repos with your GitHub account. So I showed you how to import a repository from GitHub into your Azure Repos. So let me show this as well. So first we'll have to go to project settings, and in project settings you can see this is the basic information about your project. So this is your project's name. You can provide the description. You can also edit an image, and then you can see the visibility. You can change it to private as well. And then right now there is only one project administrator. If you have more users, you can add another one. And here is Azure Devops services. So this helps you a lot. So let's say you're using Azure boards, repos, pipelines, but you don't want to use test plans. So you just click here and hit remove test plans. Okay, I think that's done. So now let's go back here. Sorry, let me click on Teams. So if you see the left screen, you will not be able to see test plans because I removed it. Let me go back to overview. Go back here. Click on test plans. And then again click here. Now again you can see test plans. So the thing is, it's not that you will have to use all the services provided by Azure DevOps. You can choose a few services. You can also use just one service from Azure DevOps, and you can switch off any other services which you don't want to use. Then coming down, you can see here there's an option called Github Connections. Let me click on that. Right now there is no GitHub account connected to this. To connect, you'll have to click here. So it will show all the repositories available in your GitHub account. As my GitHub account is already logged in, that's why it did not ask for a username and password. So right now you can see private. I can fork these. So sorry, these are forked pages. You can see forked pages, and the others are my own pages. So the thing is, you can select one or you can select all of them. So I'll just, so you can select these and you can hit save. The following GitHub repositories. Okay, so app 2 and app 1 are already being used by other repositories, sorry, other Azure DevOps organizations which I used way back. So let me just click on another repository. Let me just use this. Okay, so I have established connection. So the only repository I connected is this. You can also add a new connection with another repository. So you can see it again shows all the repositories and you can choose one more and then you can save. So the thing is, you can add these to use with the Azure boards. So how does that work? I'll go to Azure boards and let me create a new work item called a task. And I'll provide a name to this task. I'll just give something like GitHub, and then coming down I click on add link. So you can see you can check out this branch repository. Right now there is only one repository. Okay, so master branch, fine. And 1 second, branch, or you can also include commit. So let's say it will show all the commits made by this particular branch. So you can see every single commit of it, and then you can just choose one. So let's say I want to choose this commit and hit OK. Sorry, my mistake. So I clicked on the link so that it took me to that location. So the thing is, I'm showing you that you can create a work item with a certain commit ID. So let me just give it something like this, and then add link and go to branch, or you can select anything. Let me click on commit and let me click here. Let me choose a commit. You can either copy this or select, click OK. OK. So now you can see a development link has been added. So let's say now I'm creating this. Done. I've created it. So now another user is going to boards to check what are his tasks for this particular day or this particular sprint. So he goes over there and check. Okay, it was a task. So you can see here nothing is available. So let me just go once back. I'll check whether it got created. So it is. It's in to do state. Okay, let me just quickly create a new item over here. Something. It's in to do state. Coming down, you can assign it directly from here. You can see I'm assigning to a person, and then you can also move it. And you can see edit title, add task, add test, new branch. So you can enter a new branch for this particular task, or you can click here. You can basically enter the priority. You can click here, add a task, please do this and that, and then you can add a test. So you can do all this using this. So you can create multiple work items. That's what I told. Okay, so we've seen this. If you want to see the integration between GitHub and DevOps, where if you make a pull request from GitHub, there should be changes made in the boards. You can check out the previous video which I showed you. So in this video, I'm going to cover all these resources.
so that it would be better if you start off with it. So we've seen boards and repos. Next we'll look into pipelines. Okay, so you can create your first pipeline. You can see this. Okay, so while clicking it, while creating it, I'll explain it to you. I'll explain the process. So first we'll have to choose a repository. So you can either choose the Azure repository, Azure repos, or you can choose Github. So let's say I'm choosing Github. And after that, you'll have to choose the repository. You can see here. So I'm just going to choose one. I'm going to choose this hello world. So now it configures the pipeline. It will show what, so basically this particular way of doing, this is the latest way. It will suggest few, what is that? Yeah, it will suggest few starters. So you can either start with a minimal pipeline or you can start with Maven. So let me go back. If I click on show more, you can see there are so many different options as well. So let's say you want to run this on Node, you can choose Node. If you want to it's just a static HTML project, you can just click on static HTML. So it will load it, and you can see it has created a sample YAML file for us. So you can hit save and run. So let me do that. Setup CI, that is setup continuous integration with Azure pipelines. Commit directly to the master branch. So, or you can create a new branch for this commit. I'm going to commit it directly to the master branch. So this YAML file will be added to that repository. So let's check that. So let's see first whether this particular pipeline is getting created first. Okay. So you can see the commit ID. So if I click on the commit ID, it will take me to the commit page of GitHub. And you can see the new file has been added. This is the new commit. Going back. And the job is queued. Let me click on the job. And you can see the job preparation parameters are going on. So the agent request is already running or has completed. Job preparation parameters. So it executes. You can see the image is Ubuntu, the pool is Azure pipelines. Okay, so the thing is I wanted to explain is, so you can easily create a pipeline over here. It can be for any code you want. Let's say if you want to do with npm, you can do for Node, you can do for Maven, you can do for Python, you can do, even if you want to launch a Docker container into this, you have an option for that as well. So we've seen pipelines, like how to start off with it. Then you can also create your own environment. So you can give an environment name. It can be none, where you can add resources later, or it can be Kubernetes, or it can also be a virtual machine which you are currently running in your Azure portal. So you might already, so the thing is, you should already have virtual machine so that you can start off with this, or you can create an environment and later you can add a virtual machine or a Kubernetes service. So you can create your environment where your application will run. Then releases. So the first part we saw was the build. So that particular build should be released somewhere, right? It should be deployed somewhere. So for that deployment, you can create the CD, that was CI, continuous integration. So this is CD. So let's say, so now it's coming, new release pipeline. You can add stages over here. So you can add a staging stage. You can also add a what is that? Yeah, a production stage. You can choose service. You can see Azure App Service deployment. Just a second, guys. So you can see Azure App Service deployment. You can deploy a Java application. You can deploy a PHP application, a Python application. You can also deploy to a Kubernetes cluster. So you can see you can also deploy an ASP.NET website. So you can deploy all sorts of applications to app services. Coming down, you have multiple options as well. You can run a machine learning model directly from here. So these are the other options. So you can also set up an empty job and later you can choose this. So this is the basic thing. So going back here, first let's check the build. So you can see it has been successfully run. So the thing I wanted to show you is, so first let me open, just a second. Okay, so let me open this GitHub page in another yeah, so I've opened it. Okay guys, so right now you can see there is an Azure pipelines.yml page. So we have connected this, and so here we have connected this GitHub repository with this particular uh, Azure build. So now whenever there is a change happening here, that change should be made in pipelines as well. So you can see once there is a single run right now. So let me go here. Let us make a change and check out. So I'm going to edit the readme. So I'm going to just add a hello here, and I'm going to commit it directly to the master branch, or I can create a new branch and create a pull request, or you can just commit it to the master branch. So right now let me commit it to the master branch so that we can see a second run over here. So you can see currently it is queued. So let me just open this. So this was the first execution, and this execution is happening right now because I updated the readme, and this particular commit was added and it was committed to the master branch. So whenever there is a change in the master branch, so it will automatically start an execution. So you can see here it has completed its job. So this is how easy it is to integrate it with Azure pipelines. So I have integrated this particular repository with a pipeline. Whenever there's a code change, it automatically runs the pipeline or the build. So to make it simple, I added HTML. It can also go complex when you add a lot of packages. Okay. Next is test plans. Test plans, as I told you, it's not free. Right now, you can see here you are logged in with a user who has basic access level. As this is a free tier plan, I will not have any test plans created. So coming down, the only option you have is you can add this particular exploratory tool, which will be in the top right, and you can use that, or you can create manual tests. So let me show. So this is so if you have tests, you can see the test completion over here. If you don't have tests, you cannot do. So one more type of test is load test, where you can use a local testing platform or local testing software, and you can create a test and upload it to this particular console. So you can use Apache JMeter, you can use Visual Studio Web Test, you can use HTTP Archive or a URL, even Visual Studio IDE. So you can create a new one, choose the type of the test. So let's say Apache JMeter, you'll have to choose the test script, you'll have to choose the supporting files. So you'll have to choose the load locator. So once you've chosen all this, you can just click on run test. This will be a manual test. And one more thing, cloud-based load testing service is deprecated and will not be available after March 31st. So currently we do not have this option. So let me click on Visual Studio Test. So again you'll have to choose a file. Let me click on URL based test. Again you'll have to choose, but right now it is not available guys. So you'll have to buy the developer plan. So because you cannot do test plans with basic plan. Next, finally coming to artifacts. So artifacts, to understand artifacts better, you'll have to work with this. So as I told you, if you want to see the complete demo, so right now I'm teaching you all these services. So now you would have an understanding of all these services. Now you can go to the tutorial where there is a demo and you can practice it. So you can see there is a connect to feed. So this is the basic look. You can click on connect to feed. You can choose the packages which you want for your application. So let's say your package needs npm. You can select it. You can click on get the tools. So first I'm using Azure Artifacts with npm on this machine. If not, you have two options. You can upload directly using this, or you can run VSTS npm authentication to get Azure Artifacts token added to your user level.npm RC file. That is, when you have an Node.js application, you will have this file. So you can use this in your local system so that you can add all those files to this particular file, that is user level file. This is for Windows. For others, you also have other options. You can see they have given a complete setup credential. So you'll have to copy this code to that .npmrc file. Then you'll have to generate a personal token. Then you'll have to add this code. So you'll have to do that. To restore them, you can use this. You'll have to install npm again, and then you will have to use npm publish so that your local packages gets published over here. So you can do that, and you can create another feed. And so the basic thing you'll have to understand is you cannot directly connect here. You should have a local project, so you can connect this particular Azure artifact feed with your pipeline, so that whenever your application needs to download a package from npm or any other package manager, it can use it from the Azure artifacts. Because whenever it has to use a package, all the time it downloads the same package from the website of that particular package. So if you want to download npm's packages, you'll have to go to npm's website and download it. So that's what Azure DevOps does. So sometimes this can cause a lot of trouble, because there will be a problem with the internet, or the website can have a lot of traffic. Instead, if you have connected the feed to your Azure artifacts, then you can connect your Azure artifacts with pipelines. So whenever it needs a package, it gets it from Azure artifacts and uses it, so that there is no delay in your build process. So I think we've covered all of the services, and finally we'll just look into dashboards. So dashboards is basically like a visualization platform. You can see assigned to me. So this will show all the jobs assigned to you. Currently I am this particular person. I'm using this account. So it is showing one particular task was assigned to me. So let me add this. Sorry, I already added this. So done editing. So you can see one particular task was added to me. Let me go to boards once again. Let me close this. Let me assign this to me again. Done. Save. And let me refresh. And now you can see there are two tasks which got assigned to me. One is an issue, one is a task. So again, you can basically change this to a bug or something else. So this is one widget. Again, you can click on edit. You can go to build history. So currently I think we ran 2 builds. You can also move this. So let me click on edit. You can also move this. See, it's a little sensitive, so handle it with care. And then you can click on configure. Once you click on done editing, so configure, select the build pipeline. So I have one build pipeline currently, and you can see I have done 2 builds, because the first build we did when we created it, second build we did when we updated it. So you can see here this ran for 12 seconds. This ran for 12 seconds again. So but this build looks like it ran faster than this particular build. So this build was 14.1, was 0.2. Okay, so this is how you can edit your dashboard and make sure your dashboard is clean and neat, so that you can check every single thing from here itself. You can also make it bigger and check. You can close it, and you can click edit. So one more thing I want to introduce is, you can see there are a lot of widgets. If you want to have more widgets, you can click on extension gallery. It will take you to Visual Studio Marketplace. Then you can search for certain widgets and find it over here. So this is how you can start off with Azure DevOps. Okay guys, we've seen all the services and how to get started with Azure DevOps. Now let's get back to the PPT and check what is it. So now how to get started. So we've completed the demo, we've seen what is Azure DevOps and the basic details. So now first thing, how to get started off with your career. So if you want to move with Azure DevOps, the first thing I'll suggest, learn a little about Azure, learn DevOps and DevOps tools, and understand how DevOps actually works. And then to do that, we Intellipaat have blogs and a YouTube channel to provide you a lot of free content. So first, let me show you our blog. So this is our blog site. You can see all the technologies over here. So let's say you want to learn cloud computing. click on cloud computing, and you can see what is Azure DevOps in the first place. And let me click on this. Okay, so now you can see this particular web page, and you can start off learning Azure DevOps by reading it. And coming down, you'll get some more thing. You can see Git, you see other things, and going back. So like this, you can search for certain blogs over here. So you can see we have tutorials as well. So going to the right, let me check whether any Azure tutorial is over here. So it's not added here. Let me just search for it. So these are for courses. So Azure, and you can see AWS is Azure. What is Microsoft Azure? And we have so many various blogs. Okay, so you can check out our blogs here, and for our YouTube videos, you can check out Intellipaat's site, Intellipaat's channel. And you can see here we have a lot of videos coming in every day. Also, we are doing lives every day for 3 times, and this particular live is held on a Saturday on 1 p.m. So while I'm doing this, after this particular session, you have a live at 5 p.m. and at 8:30 as well. So stay tuned to watch them. So these are the 2 main things we are providing you for free. And then the third thing we are providing you for free is Intellipaat Academy. So let me show this to you. So this is a new thing we added. So this, so Intellipaat Academy is a new thing we added to our site. This is to provide you free courses. So coming down, you can see these are the free courses we provide right now. We provide a Java complete course, a C, MS Excel, MS SQL, then AI, AWS, DevOps, Azure. So all of these courses are foundational courses, and this will help you really well. So you can see these are our companies hiring, because we have taught to them, we have taken corporate trainings. Okay, so these are the free courses which we provide. You can come and check it out. It's pretty simple to start with. Click here, go to the course, click on take course, sign up with your Google account, then just start off with learning the course. Okay, so that is one. And the next thing I wanted to show is this. So you will get a 30% off on any course you take up right now after seeing this particular live video. So the code for that is YouTube30. You can go get it from any course. And also, as we are seeing this, let me open Intellipaat.com. And if you want to take up an Azure DevOps professional training from an Azure DevOps professional itself, you can check out our course page. You can check out our course video. You can come down, you can check out all the topics we'll be teaching. You can see here we are teaching you the basics of Azure. You can see these are the basics of Azure. After teaching basics of Azure, which will also have hands-ons and projects, then we'll be teaching you DevOps tools, Git, Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, SVN, Maven, and Nagios. Once that is done, we will be teaching you all the 5 services which we learned today in complete detail, so that you can get better with this. So you can look at the prerequisites. So basic knowledge of any programming language would be beneficial. There is not much prerequisites to take this up. So coming down, you can see every single information. If you want to learn, if you want to know what are the contents we'll be teaching, you can check here. So you can check out for a free video on that particular topic for that particular course. You can easily sign up. So you can see. Coming down here, you can see the projects which we provide as well. So one project is handling infrastructure solutions for Azure Cloud. This is a Microsoft Azure project. Moving ahead, you can see we'll also provide an Azure Cloud project, and the last project is a DevOps project. So we are providing you 3 different projects, guys. You can take up this course. If you want, check out our course page. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of this session. I hope you will use this particular code for your own benefit. So check out our pages and get a head start in your career. So thank you. If you want more details, you can call us at this number, And also you can call us to a US number if you are from a different country, not just US. If you're from any other country, you can call our toll-free number. And then also you can drop a mail to sales@intellipaat.com so that we'll call you immediately back. Or you can start up with a chat with our course advisor in our website itself. In the right bottom corner, you will have a chat agent. You can talk with them so that we'll get in touch with you immediately. So thank you for attending this session, and meet you in another session.